I just don't understand why everyone has an iPod. They're way more expensive than a standard MP3 player. They hold less music, and the only thing different about them is they have a stupid touchscreen that breaks as soon as you drop it once, and they can play a couple stupid games that fling a bunch of stupid little birds off of a catapult. Apple wanted to make a new computer that would change the industry. They wanted it to be user-friendly. They wanted it to be cheap. That did not last long now, did it? You want to go get an iPod that does pretty much the same thing as a standard MP3 player that costs about $40. Their iPods are going to cost anything from $200 to $300. Why do they call them iPods? iPhones, iMacs. It seems rather pointless. It's like it's a MyPod, It's almost computer. Like iPods were made for you. If you haven't noticed, the only reason people buy them is because they have stupid games on them, stupid apps that you can use to personalize them for yourself. It's like, who really needs to play Angry Birds? It's not very necessary. Sure, it's a bonus, but what do you really need a phone for? It's almost that almost explains why they call it an iPhone. It's completely different than a regular phone. Let's go back in time for a minute. When Steve Jobs started Apple, he wanted to make a computer that was affordable and user-friendly. Yes, they're user-friendly still, but if you haven't noticed, as the new models came out, the prices have gone way up. I can't even afford a 100 million iPhones have been sold worldwide, including third world countries. Those are countries that are struggling in poverty. But how do they manage to afford iPhones? There must be some kind of rage over them that makes people go crazy over having them. I kind of wanted to find out why. People that own Apple products stand by them, and they convert people. This reminds me a lot of how religions work. This is why my theory is Apple created, if you love a product, instinctively you're going to promote it. I love my phone first of all, I'm going to advise people to go out and buy my phone. Whether they like it or not, it's what I'm going to tell people to do. It's what I know. And that's the way Apple works. That is why iPods are so famous. Let's look at how they started. When Apple products first come out, along with every other company, people test them out. A few people look into what they're buying, why they want to buy it, and then they buy it. The way Apple started was a lot of people had the Apple computers, and they expanded with different MP3 players, phones, After enough people have actually bought them, people start to realize how popular they're becoming. iPhones remind me a lot about how dictators become as popular as they really are. They start from the bottom and they work their way up. When enough people test out a product, they become just genuinely popular. And eventually it becomes what people just start to buy out of impulse. Whenever you say you need a cell phone, you need an MP3 player, no one even says MP3 player anymore. It's, I gotta go out and get a new product that will make my life easier. Apple got a hold of this info and went off of products that were personalized. The iPod, the iPhone, the iMac. Like I said earlier, Apple is a company that bases them off of what people's interests are, not the products on what they should be doing in general, such as calling and keeping the battery alive long enough for people to use them when they really need it. Whether you know it or not, if you buy an Apple product, you're part of this cult. But don't worry, this is probably the only cult that doesn't involve religion. Apple is benefiting billions of dollars off of their products. People will go out and buy anything with the I name in it. Apple could create something absolutely ridiculous and just put the I in front of it. Because of people's trust and belief in it, they will go out and buy it. You can go out and ask anyone that has an iPhone why they bought it, and most of the time they will come up with a bunch of lame excuses, but you have to face facts. They just bought it most of the time because everyone else has it. I mean, if I was listening to my MP3 player while everyone else had their iPod, everyone would be looking at me weird, and you know it's true. Why are iPods so popular? Well, it's just because of the visual appeal. Apple has worked on just making these things different colors just to make them look nice. But it's not worth the money that you're paying. So if Apple comes up with a product called the iKool-Aid, don't drink it.